What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down one of the most common bad habits that I see high school and maybe even youth wide receivers make off the line of scrimmage against press coverage, and how you guys can correct this bad habit. So I hope this video helps you guys out. I hope it gives you some value, but also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want to learn some of the specific drills you need to do on the field to improve your route running, your press releases, and I'll have all the drills broken down into sets, repetitions, and example videos of each specific one, check out that very first link in the description below for our 8-week-long wide receiver on-field workout plan. It's a 2-month-long workout plan, daily wide receiver drills that can be done on the field with examples, sets, and reps, and just what you need to be doing on a daily basis. So check out that very first link in the description below if you're interested in our 8-week schedule. Let's get started with this video. So first things first, when you're a wide receiver off the line and you're going up against press coverage, you have to be able to threaten him vertically, right? So what does that exactly mean? That means that you have to be able to step outside of his frame, whether it's outside or inside, and be able to get him to move and think that you were just taking a speed release, an inside release right away, something that's going to force him to react. Now, the only reason this first release kind of worked is because the DB's eyes were high. So we're going to be breaking down this mistake, and then we're going to show you a good example of an NFL wide receiver doing the exact same thing, but accomplishing it against a disciplined guy. So let's play this full speed. So this wide receiver off the line, he goes very lateral. He never once, with his release, he doesn't step beyond this line of scrimmage, and a ton of wide receivers do this across the country. So let's play this full speed. So it's a quick 1-2, but again, every movement that he made right there was behind the line. It wasn't like he was attacking. And he has space to attack. That's the thing. He has space to get into this DB's cushion to really move him off the platform. So this DB, again, DBs are taught what? Where should they always be looking against press coverage? They should be watching the hips. But immediately, you see where this DB's eyes are. His eyes are high. He's watching the head and shoulders of the wide receiver. That should be easy money for any wide receiver at any level, because all you have to do is throw a little head fake. You don't even have to move your feet. You just have to throw a head fake. But a disciplined DB who would be watching his hips would have been all over this route, because look at his first move. He's trying to do a double up, right? So we have an inside leverage DB, and he's trying to do a one, like an outside move, and then an inside move. So a right, then a left, which is the correct release to use. It's just we have to be able to threaten his cushion to get him to move, right? So his first move, you see, it's very lateral, right? He kind of steps behind the line of scrimmage. He steps out wide, but his hips and his shoulders stay square. And then this inside move right here, there's really not much that he does. It doesn't really even step a whole lot, which again, a lot of wide receivers have this problem. And so you see how his hips and his shoulders stay square. But because this DB has his eyes high, we could take care of him with a head fake, right? But I don't want to get you ready for a DB who doesn't have the best eye discipline. I want you to beat a DB who has eye discipline, who is looking at your hips. And how we do that is by actually stepping into his frame, stepping into his cushion, and threatening him with an inside release. Now, the thing that you have to think about as a wide receiver off the line, you want to break your releases up. Like, you want to think of them in 3 lanes, right? So you got 3 separate lanes. You got the inside, the far left lane, which is where the DB is. You got the middle lane, which is head up, and then you have the far right lane. You want to be able to take a release to the far right lane, right? But this DB is lined up on the far left. So to get him to move, you have to threaten him to the left lane. I have to actually step into that lane. If I don't step into that lane and I'm operating behind the line of scrimmage, a disciplined guy who's going to watch my hips will not move. So we just have to make sure that I threaten his cushion a little bit more. I attack his leverage a little bit more, because that will force a disciplined guy to move. So many wide receivers make this mistake, and they think that the separation they're going to get is up here, right? And I'm not doing this to knock this wide receiver. I'm just showing this as an example, and hopefully if he were to come across this video, we could take it as, some constructive criticism, because that's what it is. Because trust me when I see this, every single camp that we go out to, every single time that we do any kind of one-on-ones, you get a lot of receivers who will operate behind the line of scrimmage. You have to get into this DB's frame. You have to try to threaten him off the platform with an inside or an outside release right away to force him to move when he's disciplined. And the difference is insane when you start to put it all together. So let's play this thing full speed one more time. Again, great job selling with the upper half. The upper half got him a lot of space, but we have to make sure we are attacking and stepping into his frame to get space. So now, this is also going to be a double up release. So instead of an out then an in release, it's going to be an in then an out release, and he's running a slant. But I want you to pay attention. Notice how he's on the line of scrimmage here on the 5-yard line. very similar to where that other receiver was lined up. Obviously, it was towards the middle of the field, but he's on the line of scrimmage. Now, his release, his steps, never went past the line of scrimmage. It was very lateral. I want you to pay attention where Lawrence Cager steps on this and how wide he steps on this. So let's play at full speed. So he does a quick 1-2. And you notice how he's closing the cushion. He is actually threatening him vertically on a single step. He is stepping to the far right lane. Now, notice, he comes off here. Even his first step is attacking the DB vertical. His second step, everything about this step looks like a fade. He's throwing his hips. He's throwing his shoulders. He's stepping outside of his frame. This is what will get a disciplined DB to move. An undisciplined DB, we should take care of no problem. That's not even a worry of mine. The worry of mine is when you get a DB who's been well coached, he's talented, he's fast, he has good technique, and he is watching your hips. How do I get open against a guy like that? And this is how. You have to threaten his leverage. So if you're doing a wide step, you're doing a double up, I have to make sure I am threatening him vertical or threatening him to the inside by stepping outside of his frame and selling with the upper half, because that's where he is looking at. Now, you might ask me, well, if I step that wide, I'm going to lose some explosion. I'm going to lose some speed out of there. You will not lose speed if you attach your hip and your upper body to the cut. So a lot of wide receivers will try to do this. But what they'll do is they'll keep their hips and their shoulders straight down the middle. They'll step wide like this, but instead of that 86 moving to the right, like you see how his number shifts to the right with him, it will stay down the middle, and they just try to step there. That's when you lose explosion. But if you attach your hip to your foot, that's the terminology that I like to use, and you throw your hip with the cut, that allows you to sell it, but also be able to maintain that explosive and that balanced position to where you can drive off of the cut leg and explode out of there. So make sure, fellas, we are threatening that guy vertically, but my body language and my body is moving with the cut. Hip is attached to the foot so I can sell, but also have some explosion. So that's what you got to do. A lot of high school wide receivers, a lot of youth wide receivers, they just think that it's like, like you're playing basketball almost, and it's just like a side-to-side movement. It's not lateral. It's a vertical movement. We have to threaten this guy vertically, whether it's a vertical inside or that's a vertical outside. Let's play it again, full speed one more time. Great job by Cager, stepping outside the frame, throwing his hip, and getting that DB off the platform. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. We'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can. Always appreciate the feedback, and it's always great to hear from you guys as usual. And again, fellas, if you'd like an 8-week wide receiver field workout plan, all the things that wide receivers need to do on the field for 8 weeks, sets and reps, examples of each drill, the works. Check out that very first link in the description below. I'll see you guys next time.